Hi, W.A. Nehemiah from GMMB Academy. We're looking at this use of English. We're looking at the topic adjectives. Before we look at the topic adjectives, we want to know the meaning of the word adjectives. Adjectives are part of speech that describes the noun or the pronoun. Adjectives can be used to make comparison between two individuals or between two things or between a group of people. Adjectives can be used to make comparison. Adjectives can also be used to describe, to qualify an individual or something. Take a look at this. Let's say we have this guy over here, all right, and then you can say he is tall. He is tall. The word tall is the adjective that qualifies or that describes the young man standing here. Well, if I have another man standing there over here, you can say that this guy is taller. All right? You are comparing this man and this man. Although this man is tall, that adjective, the word tall is the adjective that qualifies this man. But when we say this one is taller, is the adjective that makes comparison between these two men. And then we can have another man over there, and then we can call this guy tallest. Now, between the three, this one is the tallest. Now, these two is called comparative and superlative adjective. But meanwhile, let's describe what we mean when we use the word adjectives. Now, there are things that you should look out for when you study adjectives. Number one is place ordering. You should look out for place ordering. Number two is structural position. Structural position. Number three is comparative. Just like what we did using the diagram, comparative and superlative. And then number four is coordinates. Remember, we're talking about adjectives. But in this video, we'll be looking at place ordering, which is the prerogative for today's class. In our subsequent video, we will look at the structural position, we'll look at the comparative and superlative adjectives, and the coordinates. If you look at the question or the quiz that we have on the board, let's get to the board. We have the went to the market and bought a suitcase. The suitcase and dash bag. What type of bag did they buy? The adjective here in the options tries to explain the type of bag that was bought. We need to know how to arrange the adjectives in their correct sequence. Now, we have a big brown bag. Is that the answer? We don't know. But at the end of this video, you'll be able to pick out the answer accurately. We have a big leather brown bag. Is that the answer? Well, whatever you choose, we need you to hold on to your answer. Now, after the video, you can now make the correct answer. Or, sorry, you can now choose the correct answer and see whether you are wrong or right. Now, let's get to the topic, place ordering. Now, what does place ordering mean? It means how does adjective fall in order of their arrangement. when there are two or more adjectives in a sentence. You look at this other one, question number 2. The tourist bought a brown small American earthen pot. So we need to see all that. All right? Now, the first thing to do in place ordering is that it's going to follow a formula. And that formula is going to follow is known as the when. So, the when is the formula to use to solve adjectives or to answer questions on adjectives, subsection, place ordering. Now, what does the word D means? D means deictic, and then E or O means ordinator, and then E means epithet. Then N means nominal, and then H means the head. Now, let's explain the first one, the deictic. This is known as the determinant. Determinant words are that, this, little, okay, so on and so forth, a lot. Now, the ordinators are divided into two. We have the ordinals, and then we have the cardinals. The ordinals and the cardinals. When you look at the ordinals, examples of the ordinals, let me make, I'm going to use this space here. Examples of the ordinals is, for instance, 1 for the ordinal, 2 for the ordinal. Then for the cardinals, the 1 becomes first, the 2 becomes second. Okay? This becomes second. Now, you can see that the ordinals, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the cardinals, first, second, third, fourth. Do you understand that? I take it again. To arrange adjectives in order of their accurate or correct order of arrangement in a sentence. When you have 2 or 3 or more adjectives in a sentence, how do you arrange them? Now, that's the basics of this video. That's the prerogative of this video. Now, we look at the formula, the when. Now, from this, the when, first of all, you look for the determinant. Determinant that. Determinant this. Determinant little or few, a lot. Now, the next thing to look for is the ordinator. The ordinals come first, which is 1, 2, 3, and then the cardinals follows it, which is first, second, or third, or fourth, a lot. Then we have the epithet. Under the epithet, we have the subjective, and then we have the objective. Well, objective. Now, I will discuss this concept when I clean up the board so that you can see what it means by objective and subjective and objective. Now, for the nominals, nominals means the originator of the verb, of the adjective, the originator of the adjectives, while the head talks about the adjective that is being described. Now, let's clean up the board so that this is where we'll concentrate on. We're going to look at the arrangement, but we need to talk about the objective, subjective, and the objective epithet. So let's clean up the board so we can explain that to you. Now, the epithet. We have the subjective, we have the objective. Now, what does it mean by subjective epithet? Now, these adjectives cannot or cannot fall in the order of placements such as age, color, and material type. Now, age is constant. If someone is 12 years, 23 years, 40 years, the age is constant. The age remains the age. Whether the person is in town or outside town, as long as the age is documented, the age remains there. Color. Black remains black. You can see the beautiful color of my skin. I'm a black man, okay, from Africa. So I remain an African, all right? That doesn't change. Color does not change. Well, that is talking about the objective, all right? But for the subjective, this one depends on the perception, on the permutation, and then the parameter of measurement of different individuals. For instance, you have like handsome, beautiful. Now, handsome and beautiful depends on the perception or the parameter of measurement of different individuals. For instance, there are some girls that measures a man by the amount of currency he has in his bank account. So if you have enough currency, you have enough money in your bank account, to some girls, you are handsome. You see that? Or there are some girls also, they measure the handsome, they measure the man, or they qualify the handsomeness of a man by the Christian virtue. If he's a godly man, if he's a righteous man, that man is handsome. And there are some of those girls also that qualifies that calls a man and a handsome man because he has a good outward appearance, good physique, okay, good body built up, okay. Now, anyhow, there are some men also that look at a woman and they say because she's beautiful and because she's heavily endowed, they say that is beautiful. She's beautiful. And there are some other men, what they call beauty is the virtue, the godly virtue, the submission, the respect of a woman. The submission of a woman, the respect of a woman to the man is what some men call beautiful. And that's what I call beautiful anyway. Let's continue. Now, this I just described is on the subjective case. It is based on the parameter or the permutation of measurement of different individuals. Now, for the objective case, we don't need your permutation, we don't need your parameter of measurement because it is constant. And there is this formula to use in the objective case, which is called Shisha Kumakwa. So let's place it somewhere here. All right, where will I place it? Okay, let's place it somewhere here. C, Sha, Ku, Ma, Pa. Now C, this is size. Sha, this is shape. A, this is age. This is color. This is material. And this is participle. Okay? Shape, size, shape, age. Those things doesn't change. Size, and the size must come before the shape, followed by the age, followed by the color, followed by the material, followed by the participle. So this is what they mean by the epithet, subjective and objective. Now we talk about the other one, which is the nominal, the originator, or the place where the material is being gotten from. All right, is being produced from. Then we have the head, which is the material being talked about. Now, let's look at this question. The question says that they went to the market and bought a suitcase and dash bag. Now, from this formula, the when, determinant is the first, and then ordinators is the second, epithet is the third, nominal, and then the head. Now, look at this. I believe this is the formula to use, shisha kumakba, because they are talking about big, which is size, brown, which is color, leather, which is material. Now, the right answer should be they went to the market and bought a suitcase, and A is the determinant. Of course, A is a determinant in both of them. So A comes first. A, big, which is the size. Okay, after the size, what do we have again? A big is also there. So the two options from the first arrangement is correct. Second arrangement is correct. The third arrangement, after the size, the shape, there is no shape of the bag there. After the shape, the age, of course there is no age. After the shape, age, color. Now let's look for the color. You see, a big brown. So this now follows the order of arrangement, which means the answer is option A. They went to the market and bought a suitcase and a big brown leather bag. Not a big leather brown bag. That is wrong. That is the wrong order of arrangement. The right order of arrangement is a big brown leather bag from the formula Shisha Kumapa. Now let's look at this. The tourist bought a brown small American hidden pot. Now, let's look at the structure of arrangement. Now, A, which is the determinant, and then brown, of course, the color should not come before the size of the material. So we believe this should be the answer. A, which is the determinant, and then small, which is the size, followed by the color brown. Are you seeing that now? And then, I've seen that the nominal, where the material is gotten from, American, and then the head, which is the hidden pot, the hidden pot that has been talked about. So the answer is option B. All right. Having done that, let's look at question number 3. Question number 3 is Mr. Ojo was one of dash in Nigeria. First two enlightened young ladies. First two young enlightened ladies. Now, let's look at this. If you look at the first one, first two. All right. In that perspective, the first arrangement is correct. But the next arrangement that we're going to look at is enlightened young. Young enlightened. Which one should come first? Well, if you look at that sentence, you'll find out that if you say young, which is the age of the individual that has been described, you will not be correct. All right? But if you say enlightened, all right, he is educated, he went to school, he's a graduate, maybe BSc or professor or PhD, wherever, he is a graduate. Now, it is the enlightened that should come first, because that is under the subjective case, okay? Because it cannot be changed, okay? Are you seeing that now? He is enlightened. Okay, that's under the objective case, sorry. It cannot be changed, so that should come first. All right, so Mr. Ojo was dash one of dash in Nigeria. Mr. Ojo was one of dash in Nigeria. First two enlightened young ladies. So this should be option A. Okay? Option A is the answer. Now, if you look at this last one, the last one says, there's a question for you. Big these 4 new boxes, rectangular, wooden, brown, American, well-decorated boxes. Now, your work in this assignment is to rearrange the adjectives, rearrange the statement in the correct order. Now I'm going to give you a clue. Now, what is the determinant? Where is the determinant here? Determinant, which is D, which is the first one, is this. So this is the determinant. And then what ordinator is the 4. So we have these 4, and make the order arrangement and see what you're going to get. Drop the answer in the comment section. We'll be waiting for all of you, and then we will see to it, and then you will help others also to learn by dropping your comment on the comment section and ask your question on the comment section. We'll be glad to see your question in the comment section, and then we'll respond to you in no